Holy cow. Hello, everyone. My eye itches, but holy cow, what do we have here today? This is the brand new EarthQuaker devices pedal called the Gary. And it has some really beautifully labeled knobs called the Go, Yes, That's It, and Oosh. So what is Gary? So the birth of Gary apparently began because a guitarist called Kiernan was using his pedal called the Gray Channel, which is now discontinued, and he loved the left channel so much that he contacted Jamie Stillman and said, "Hey, let's do a compact condensed version of that pedal." And they were emailing each other back and forth, and the Gray kept getting auto-corrected to Gary, and therefore the Gary was born. So the Gary circuit, the left side is an overdrive side, which sounds amazing, and then on the right side is a completely mental sounding fuzz. You could use it to sound rather normal, but it does want to go crazy, and we'll get into that. So as I mentioned, there are four knobs here: the Go, Yes, That's It, and Oosh. The left side is basically the OD, so you got the gain for the OD, which is the top bigger knob, and the volume for it on the bottom. And on the right side, you have the volume for it on the bottom, and on the top side, in layman's terms, is basically setting kind of like a threshold for the fuzz to stay sane or go insane. So if you have it turned counterclockwise more, it's going to be a more sane sounding fuzz. And if you turn it more to the right and have your right hand dynamics change from soft to hard, it can completely bottom out and tank the fuzz and make it sound crazy. So today I have my Gibson SG, which are using a couple of lace sensor nitro hemi pickups, which are quite high output mini humbuckers, going into Gary and going into the front end of the Hughes and Kenneth Tubemeister Deluxe 20, going into an orange tube with a vertical camera being mic'd up by two SM57s in the Fredman technique, and there is a little reverb in the effects loop because the reverb makes me happy. And another thing I need to note is that I'm using the reverb unit to kind of attenuate the volume of the amp, because with the Gary engaged, it's a loud pedal and he wants to scream. So my clean tone sounds like this. It breaks up a little bit. So I'm just attenuating that down by a notch. And let's begin with the overdrive side. I'm gonna show you how it sounds with a low volume setting. So let me be on the bridge pickup, right? So here we go. This is the OD. All right. So that's slightly pushing the amp. You can increase the gain a little more. Let's see how that sounds. More gain. And max gain with low volume. But this guy tends to open up better when you have a tube amp and you max out that volume level on the pedal as well as the gain. that's the OD side. Now let's go to the fuzz. So I have that dynamic with controller, whatever we want to call it. Let's call it the dynamics of the fuzz control, set very conservative, and this is how the fuzz side sounds. Now, the more you turn it clockwise, it starts going nuts depending on the dynamics of your right hand. So I've cranked it up a little bit more. So you can hear how when I'm plucking softer and plucking harder, it changes. So you can completely tank and bottom out the more crazier you go with the amount of dynamics of the fuzz on that side. So there you go. So personally, I don't have it past noon. Back to the overdrive side. And that was with both the sane and insane sides combined. So you can kind of use, the left side, the OD side, for a more conventional sounding tone, or you can, and then you can have engage the right side to have it go nuts, let the fuzz bottom out, etc. And you actually can have more control over the dynamic of the fuzz by plugging in an expression pedal. So there is a jack here on the right side of the pedal, and then you can use the expression pedal to control the dynamics on the go, so you don't have to get down and change that. So you could have the fuzz to sound sane, by having the expression pedal all the way down, and then if you crank it up with the expression pedal, just make it go nuts. create an entire wall of sound. So there you go. That's the EarthQuaker Devices Gary pedal. Leave a thumbs up and give us a comment if you love the tones achieved here today. And I'll see you in the next one.